Hello, hello. Oh my gosh, I've always got Stan right here in the background of my videos. Hello, welcome. My name is 𝘁𝗵𝗶. I have been loving coming on here live every Friday and just talking about something that's really important to me and I know is important to many others, which is the topic of drinking and the choice not to drink. I'm a wife and a mom from St. Louis, Missouri. I'm a wellness enthusiast. I am fascinated by the subconscious mind and how it affects us in our everyday decisions and everyday life. And I have been alcohol-free for over 3.5 years. And my goal is to help women who don't love their relationship with alcohol and yet something keeps them drinking. I can totally relate to being in that position. I really want to help them think differently about alcohol and about sobriety. So today we're going to talk about a topic that affects everyone who has decided not to drink, and whether this be like doing a 30-day challenge or 75 hard, or maybe the ultimate decision that you don't want to drink anymore. We all struggle with how to deal with other people's comments, questions, and opinions about our choice not to drink. And it's surprising, but it really does affect more people than we realize, and more people care about this decision than we realize. Or maybe you're actually giving it more power than you think. Maybe it won't affect people as much as you think. But those early days can be a little uncomfortable, and I want to talk about that. So I know personally there were many different reactions in my life with my decision not to drink. Right away, I didn't tell anyone. I just decided I was done with it. I had done multiple stints of not drinking, and it was actually for like 4th of July, and I was like, I woke up that morning and I was like, I don't ever want to do this again. I decided at that point that my long-term peace was way more important than the little bit of pleasure that I got from drinking. And so I kind of made this little decision in my mind and I didn't tell anyone. And I'm sure that was a protective mechanism. So that's something you could do too. Like sometimes you just don't need to announce it to the world, right? And I was over a week not drinking, and I don't know, I guess you just know when you know. And I just had this feeling like I was never going to pick up a drink again. And I didn't even tell my husband that I wasn't drinking. And I remember looking at him and saying, what are you going to do if I never drink again? And he was like, you'll drink again, it actually made me laugh because it kind of showed me how this was way more about my own relationship with alcohol than it was about me having a problem with alcohol where other people thought I needed to quit drinking. That was not the case. It was about my own relationship and my own decision, which I loved. I love that. And I hope it can be that for you. I hope if it's something that you struggle with, you're able to take charge of it before it becomes an opinion that other people have to weigh in on. But early on, there were so many comments. There were comments like, oh my gosh, can't you just lighten up a little bit? Couldn't you just have one? Like, is it really a big deal? A lot of people saying like you're not gonna stick with this, right? Like this isn't a forever thing. This is just temporary, right? So all of those little comments, which depending on how much power you want to give them, can have influence on you, especially in the beginning. So let's talk a little bit about why people react the way that they do. And there's really 3 main reasons. The first is loss of sameness, right? Like it is fun to go out and have a drink with your friend. Like there's just no denying that it is. And so when you have this thing that you do together with somebody and then you take that away, it's going to cause a reaction out of them. And that's totally justifiable, right? Like that's normal that they'd be like, wait, this is our thing that we did together. But if it is a true good relationship in your life, like they will adapt and adjust. One of my oldest friendships, we get together, we go out to dinner, once a month. And when I quit drinking, I think for her, it was like, oh, I guess we're not going to have this glass of wine together. And it's not as much fun, right, to have a glass of wine by yourself. So I just noticed that slowly, like she usually doesn't order wine when we're out, but sometimes she does. And I love when she does. It does not affect me whether she does or doesn't, but it hasn't affected our relationship because it was a true, strong relationship in my life. And that is what will happen. In the beginning, people are going to have a response to the fact that this was a thing you did together and now you're not doing it together anymore. And that's okay. And don't judge them for that. Grace abounds, right? So that's the first reason, is that loss of sameness. And now I just want you to know, like on the other side of that, people's reactions will change throughout your journey as you hold strong. I think of, I have a friend group in my life. There's 6 of us. It's 3 couples. Like in the beginning when Julie quit drinking, it's awkward for everyone. It's uncomfortable. It's like, that's not how I knew Julie, right? And then eventually everybody just gets used to it, and that same strong relationship is there, and it becomes comfortable again. So it's gonna feel wonky in the beginning, but it will get better. The second thing is fear of judgment, and I still struggle with this. Fear of judgment usually is coming from the person that is drinking, and they learn of your decision not to drink, and they're afraid that you're going to judge them, right? Thinking, okay, you decided that you don't want to drink. It must be because alcohol is terrible, and you're judging me that I am. Most people with their decision not to drink, it's because of their relationship and their challenge with alcohol. And so I still struggle with this fear of judgment because I have walked into a lot of new communities. We have had to join 2 new schools during my decision to not drink. We've joined a new baseball team, other sports teams. And my biggest fear is that someone else would think I was judging them for drinking. I don't care at all if somebody else drinks. But I had to, in my sobriety, like come to terms with the fact that I don't need to announce that to the world. Like, people are going to figure that out. All I can do is just not ever be in judgment, and I'm not. I actually like to hang out with the people that are partying and having fun. So they might be afraid that you're judging them, and then you in your own sobriety might be afraid that they think you're judging them. And so the only thing you can do there is just be true to yourself. Don't be in judgment. You can share if you want, you don't need to. That it's really your own issue. I just had an experience last weekend. I was at a party. I met someone new. We were having a great conversation. We were having so much fun. And then she's like, do you want to take a tequila shot with me? And I was like, oh, thank you, but I don't drink. And she's like, oh, she goes, good for you. Like, she had a very positive response to it. And I was like, yeah, for me, the anxiety was just not worth it. The anxiety that it gave me. And that's just the response that I am comfortable with, and that's my truth. And I want people to know it's a me thing. Like, it's not everybody in the world needs to not drink, right? So right away, you decide not to drink. People that you drank with are going to feel that loss of sameness. Give them grace. They may be afraid that you're going to judge them, right? And so all you can do is simply not do that. If you want to share that it's about your own journey, you can, but you don't have to. That's totally up to you. You don't owe them an explanation. And then the last thing is that there is an unconscious uncomfortability that comes with this, right? When somebody is growing and making a positive change in their life, it does cause the other person to have to hold up a mirror. And if that person is maybe struggling with their relationship with alcohol, they may, like the crabs in the bucket, right? Everybody knows the crabs in the bucket thing, right? Like, as the crab is trying to get out of the bucket, the other crabs are going to pull it down. They may feel threatened by your decision to make a positive change in your life. And this isn't even related only to alcohol. This is related to every time we do something positive for ourselves or in a way of growth. If someone knows they should be doing that and they're not, they're a little unconsciously threatened by it. And they may be the person making those little comments like, are you even going to be fun anymore? Are we ever going to have fun together anymore? You can't lighten up and have one drink, right? So you can't give their words power in your life. Okay, so how do you do that? So hold on, let's talk again. Let's go back again and just revisit real quickly. So there are like the 3 main reasons why people have these uncomfortable comments or opinions about your decision. It's usually that it's a connection that you guys had and it's not there any longer. Don't worry, you'll figure out new ones. Secondly, they're afraid you're going to judge them. And thirdly, it could be that it's holding up a mirror to what's going on in their life and that they're just not comfortable with that yet. So what can we do, right? So on our side, the most powerful things that we can do is know our why. Know the decision why you chose not to drink. And it ideally has nothing to do with everybody else, right? So for me, it was that anxiety. The anxiety that I got, the days of anxiety were not worth the 20 minutes of fun, right? So eventually that became worth it. I knew my why. I could stand grounded in that. The second thing is that I don't need to give their voice and their opinion power in my life. And this is related in every area of our life, right? People will always have comments and opinions about every single thing, whether it's parenting, whether it's your clothes, whether it's the car that you drive, the job that you have, your decision not to drink. We will never be able to stop other people from having opinions, right? And a voice. But what we can stop is the power that that gives us in our lives, right? I never was rocked by those people's comments because they aren't living in my mind. They don't have to deal with the anxiety that alcohol was giving me. So it's okay that they made that little comment. I'm going to give them grace. Like, I don't need to judge them. That doesn't need to rock my world. They don't know where I'm coming from. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't need to give it power. And the way that you don't give it power is you just know your why strong and steady, and you just decide, right? You just decide. If you feel that it's making your heart race or making you emotional or making you upset, I'm not giving their voice power right now. I'm going to stick with mine. Okay? And then the final thing is, depending on where you're at in this journey, you can just fake it till you make it. Like, in the beginning, you may feel pretty uncomfortable. People do care about whether or not we drink. I want to say nobody cares if you're having a drink or not. They do. They do care, especially if it was something you did with them. They're going to care. But people also don't have an awareness of what's going on in your every move like you think they do, right? It's like you look at your kids, like they think every person in the world is staring at them all the time. They aren't, right? So show up with we all have our big jugs or our big water cups now. Like, you can have whatever you want in there. People don't need to know, right? Like, you don't need to announce it to the world and make it a big thing, right? Especially if you don't want to don't draw attention to it until you feel more confident. That's what I did in the beginning. I didn't tell anyone because I needed to get confident in it first, okay? So don't be afraid to do that either. And so finally, I just want to encourage you that when we make a decision and we keep that promise with ourselves, that is what builds confidence. And other people actually will be inspired and encouraged by how brave you are, your decision to stand by something for yourself. And that doesn't come instantly. That comes with time, okay? So be willing to be unique, to be strong, to be brave, and know that you are actually going to be that person that inspires others, whether it's around alcohol or something else in their life, to make those strong, hard decisions. And just know that you're honoring that promise with yourself, and other people's voices don't need to have power in your life. So I hope that helps. I'd love to hear if you guys are willing to comment on some things that people have said to you in your early sobriety, or some comments. A lot of people also are very supportive. I forgot to say that. People will support you as well. So don't only listen to the ones trying to bring you down, the crabs in the bucket. But for the most part, people will be very supportive. There is definitely a movement. You won't be alone. Other people will be doing it with you too. I can promise you that. You may be the first. Don't hesitate to be the first. But just know that your story is going to inspire others, and you do not need to cave on your decisions to make other people feel comfortable. All right. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I look forward to chatting next Friday.